Myochi.
And I am Renee, and welcome to the 40 Spot. We know that we've been away for a while, but we are back stronger than ever to finish up 2023 strong. Please like, comment, follow, subscribe, share this live, share our old lives, and everything like that with your people. And here we talk about the highs and the lows and everything in between of being 40 years old. And one of the things of being 40 is being fit and fabulous and healthy
Say it.
and
Say it.
wealthy. So we have Mr. Kyle Gunby with us. He is a certified personal trainer of more than 3 years, fitness coach. He has certifications in corrective exercise, stretching, flexibility, and mobility. He's a former collegiate athlete. He played soccer and a former classic physique competitor. And he is the alumni of the illustrious Clemson University. They got their little title back. But, we love him still the same. But welcome to the 40 Spot. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Thank you for putting that Clemson bit in there. I know that hurt you to say that, but
Indeed.
order has been
Indeed.
restored. Order has been restored. Life is
Okay.
good for me.
All right. Well, that is great. You are tuning in from us from Tampa,
That's correct. That's correct.
Tampa, Florida. Same warm weather. Same warm weather.
Not
Um,
too warm, because it is too warm today in Georgia, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
yeah, we one day we have to get in here and just talk about the weather. Like, oh, people say, "Wait, can I just get out there and talk about the weather?" And that's for real topic.
Right.
But we are glad that you are here. Please let everybody know how they can find you and just a little bit extra about who you are and what do you do.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Gunby underscore aesthetics. That's kind of a might be a difficult word there, but yeah, you can find me there. All things fitness related. I try to add some new tips and content every week, things that can help you out from an exercise perspective, um, motivational things that'll help you, stay disciplined to your overall fitness goal or whatever it is you're trying to do in life. So you can find me there. That's pretty much where I am, where I do all of my activity.
Okay, okay.
Well,
Well,
before we get into the topic, I wanted to talk about Thanksgiving because my question is for you, Mr. Gumby.
Uh-huh.
How do you transition from the time of eat 'em up to I need to do better, especially this is a weird space for everybody, right? It's like this
Right.
food, sweets, all these things, and then you're going into the next year. And I know that I completely enjoyed my Thanksgiving. And I'm still enjoying foods and telling myself in a new year, in a new year, in a new year. So I'm curious what you do during that time. Like, did you eat a lot during Thanksgiving? Like, what are you doing this time? Do you stay on track?
Oh, I most definitely put it down. You know, all the mac and cheese, all the dressing with the gravy,
yes.
turkey, sweet
Pie.
potato casserole, cakes,
Yeah.
things like that. So, one thing that I actually, whenever we come up to this time of year, right? One thing I like to emphasize to my clients and just people in general, people that I'm working with, is something that I learned from another friend of mine who's in the fitness community. Is that you want to do memories over your macros. Okay. We'll get into the macros a little bit later from a nutrition standpoint, but understand that your fitness, your health journey, your health is a lifestyle approach. Um, in saying that, you want to be able to enjoy your life. So what I do throughout the year, to make sure that I'm staying on top of my fitness, making sure I'm staying on top of my health, is making sure that I have a diet or nutrition that allows me to still remain healthy, but still allows me to enjoy things the things that I enjoy, carrot cake, cookies,
Mm-hmm.
um, what else? What other kind of sweets do I enjoy? Pancakes, things like that. So it's about, like I said, just having that lifestyle approach that just allows you. If you think about it from a percentage standpoint, it's probably 80% of the things that are going to be a balanced diet, nutrient dense whole foods,
Mm-hmm.
and then 20% that's going to be you just enjoying it, right? The cookies, the cakes, and things like that, because that helps you stay sane. Um, nobody
Absolutely.
nobody likes to eat chicken and broccoli and rice, 4 or 5 times a day every day.
Right.
So it's just about finding things that you enjoy. Um, Me, I can eat the same thing all day every day. I know not everybody can do that, but because 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 I've learned a lot about food and nutrition and what amounts work for me, I'm able to provide myself with a little bit of strategy when it comes to the holidays, as far as just still being able to enjoy it and still staying, fit,
Hmm.
um, and still staying tight. So,
All right.
I feel like one of the things that I know works best for me. Do I do it? No. But one thing I know that works best for me um, is just staying active. Like,
mhm,
even if I'm not eating the best, if I'm at least walking, I'm going to Zumba, I'm doing something,
right.
it's like I'm not going to necessarily lose and be in my tip top shape or anything, but I'm at least still getting that mobility and I don't feel as bad. When I'm not as active, which has happened in the last 2 weeks, I genuinely feel it. I feel
Mhm.
Mhm.
it in a way that's like I really need to eat that bad, but I'm tired. I'm doing a lot more as I get up off.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Those are all common things. Yeah. And I mean, it's great that you've have the awareness of, okay, I know I'm not where I want to be from a nutrition standpoint, but I am staying active. So
Hmm.
you're able to
Mhm.
have yourself have some balance and maintain where you are instead of taking 3 steps back. Right.
Right.
Right. Right. Well, I was amazed because when I spent Thanksgiving in Atlanta, Myochi and I we swapped places. She came to
Mhm.
Nashville, went to Atlanta, and when I stepped on my sister's scale, because I do not own a scale, because I'm like I'm not gonna do that, because I probably would be weighing myself throughout the day, and that would be just the thing that I'm just really
I've done
focused on, because I used to have one, and that's how I used to be, and I'm like,
that. Hmm.
which was so crazy because I was like 125, 130 pounds. If I could just go back. But I digress. So I get on her scale and I'm like, oh, wait, I'm good. I am so good, because I'm like, all right, I done lost weight since last time I went to the doctor. When I left, 4 pounds. But I was, I didn't think I was just eating like that, and that's some of it, you come from a family where it's just like, it's competitive eating. I want to out eat you.
You get there before you get there.
Exactly. Like, first off, there ain't nobody in here, fixing weak plates. Like,
Mhm.
that's the
Yeah.
first off. And
They're very low vibrational.
no low vibrational
I'm
plates.
saying they all low vibrational places. All this stuff. All okay. From
All of
what
the
is
good.
being said, that's low vibrational.
Right. So I'm just like, okay, so and it's throughout. And if you see somebody else in the kitchen, they getting something to eat, it's like,
Well,
hold
hold
up,
on. Yeah. Let me.
what
Yeah.
you getting?
Right.
Like, did you get the last of it? Like, you don't want that person to get the last of it. It's like, okay, I want to eat. And I remember, like, because the house was kind of full or whatever like that. And I was sleeping down there on the couch because my sister had put me out of her room. And it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. All of a sudden, I hear something, and I pop up just like a groundhog. It's my son. What you getting? He was like, "Well, see, it was the last little bit of chicken wings, but I'm gonna leave four. Who you leaving? Who you leaving 4 wings for? Who just want 4 wings? Who just want just? Oh, well, then I just get them all. Okay, but it's just like, okay, after he leave, it's like 5 o'clock in the morning. My other cousin, he up. Shanna, what you doing? Oh, see, Corey had came down there and I had smelled some food, and he told me to come back. And it's just like it was like that. It was like 24/7. Like, oh, this was definitely Waffle House, and the kitchen never did close, and it was just champion eating. And I was like, was I really eating that much? And I was like, obviously I was, but everything was so good. And I think it starts with Halloween, because people still be eating Halloween candy like it ain't nothing. So I think October 31st is, that's the season of eating up into the new year.
And I will say, what's funny is with Halloween, this season, I had candy. We did things in our neighborhood, but everything tastes weird to me. Like it really tastes weird. Like I'm eating and I'm like, these are the toxins that they're talking about. And I don't know if it's because you get hyper aware of the stuff that they're putting in the food. Like, I've seen
Yeah.
videos about Skittles but I'm serious. I ate Skittles and it's the leftover piece. And I think especially as we get older, we really have to, I mean, just in general, we should be thinking about these things, but specifically as we get older, we really have to be thinking about what we're putting in our bodies. And, the reason why we even asked you on, Kyle, is because it definitely also has to go from the thinking about what we're putting in our bodies and then making sure we're putting the right things in our bodies because we are middle aged, which sounds so weird, right? Because you used to think of middle age as your 50s, but really 50, that means you have 100. Who live into 100? Some people do, but most people don't.
Really, we already done missed it because middle age really is like mid-30s. Like,
Exactly. So it's like putting the best things in your body. I told somebody once that like I want to live a long, healthy life. And their response to me was like, I've never thought about that. I'm like, yeah, like I don't want to be here till I always say I want to be here till I'm 120, right? But I don't want to be here that long and I'm unhealthy. People have to help me. I can't move around. I know I won't be moving like I'm 20, 30 or even 60 at that point, but I still want to be mobile. And what I do know is that now's the time to make the appropriate changes, lifestyle changes like you're talking about, because it's necessary. It's necessary for us going into, through our 40s into our 50s into our 60s. One question I do have for you is when we think about, because I know everybody is on social media, and Renee and I are in a group chat where we see these old, mostly women who like in their 60s, in their 70s, started like this really um, dynamic exercise routine and uh, eating right, and you see them like, oh my God, they're more healthy than I am. And so when you see that, it's like, where do you start? So that's my
Right.
question for you. Where do we start in that transition of a full lifestyle change? Yes, the holidays, I'm eating a little bit and I'm still moving, but ultimately, so that when I'm in my 60s, I don't have to have assistance as I'm traveling with my girlfriends or with my mate or my children.
Right. And I think the first thing, and as I sit down with people, the first thing you have to identify is like, what is your overall goal? Right. Lots of times, well, a lot of the people that I deal with, their goal is weight loss. Okay. They want to lose 30, 40 pounds. They want to increase their flexibility. They want to, increase their mobility. They want, in their 40s and 50s, they want to be able to, do the Tootsie Roll again and scrub the ground and drop down and get the eagle on. But no,
I
the first
might
thing
be one
is
of them people.
the first thing is just to identify that goal, right?
Mhm.
With weight loss, um, 9 times out of 10, or 10 times out of 10, you have been that weight that you're trying to get back to.
Mhm.
Um, and so from that knowing that information, how did you feel when you were back at that weight,
Mhm.
right? So now what you're doing is you're becoming more aware of not only the weight, but how you felt when you were at that weight. And so
Mm,
now where that you're getting back to that feeling of, okay, when I was, 20 pounds lighter, I could move a lot better. I felt a
Mhm.
lot better. I felt a lot healthier. You can use that feeling to help you stay dedicated to your overall journey and to help you identify your real reason why. Because most people, if they're on a weight loss journey, the number is I don't want to say it's irrelevant, but it's not the reason they're doing it, right?
mm,
Um, Miyoshi, you said it. I want to get to the point as to where when I'm in my 60s, I'm not depending on somebody to help me move. When you're 60,
mm.
um, hopefully a lot of us have retired by that time and we have, the financial means to be able to travel.
Yeah.
How great would it be to travel without having assistance, without having to depend on medication? Because I run into that. I run into people who, that's, after I discuss with them, oh yeah, I want to lose this 20, 30 pounds. Okay, well, why is that so important? Because I'll be able to get off of this medication. I don't want to be on medication anymore. I
Yeah.
don't want to have
Okay.
to travel with medication. I don't want to have, I go on trips and I can't do everything my family's doing because I'm out of breath.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's what's going to keep you going, because motivation is going to come and go. I've been working
Mm,
out. I've been working out what 25 years. I have days where I don't want to go,
Mhm.
right?
okay.
But I do know that there's a lifestyle and a health that I want to continue. Um, so that's what keeps me going. But to get back to your question, how do you start? I guess identifying what your goals are, understanding your real reason why you're doing it, and then understanding that. And Renee, this is what one of the original questions you asked me is that what's the difference between fitness and wellness,
Okay.
right?
Right.
Um, Without having gone through certain certifications, it's easy to interchange those two things. Okay, well, if I'm fit, I'm good with wellness, but fitness is a subcategory. Fitness or physical activity is a subcategory of overall wellness. If you look into wellness, if you actually research it or Google it, you may see, or you probably see there's 6 dimensions of wellness. Some people say there are 8, but there's 6 dimensions of wellness. Physical fitness, health is one of those, and then you have 5 others, which are social. So we're going from physical, we've got social, emotional, occupational, spiritual, and intellectual. So as you think about those 6 items, those are things that will help you have an overall better life experience
Mhm.
once you're able to um, bring those up to I don't want to say a sufficient level and not a mastery level, but to a level as to where you feel they are at their best. Um, yeah, the question.
Can you repeat those 6 because I'm typing them in the comment
Absolutely.
and I
Um,
want to make sure that everybody get them.
okay, so the first one is physical slash fitness
Hmm.
is your first dimension. The second one is social.
Hmm.
Then you have emotional,
Okay.
occupational,
Got it.
spiritual,
Mhm.
and then
Okay.
intellectual. Yeah,
Okay.
And what I think, as you were talking, what's interesting to me is that, and you can tell me what you think about this idea that I'm having, that the physical and fitness piece of wellness is so connected to the other ones in a way that, like, if you can master it, meaning master it for yourself, because they may look different for a lot of people, but if you can have that piece, it leans into the social piece, right? Because if you are moving and you're getting your body moving more, you're not going to be always so tired that you don't want to go out with friends or you don't want to go and do things. Spiritually, it's like you're not also too sleepy to get up to go to church or to meditate. And even
Hmm.
intellectually, like having that energy and having that blood flow that you can cognitively think about things in a right way because you're giving your body the fuel that it needs. And then, of course,
absolutely.
it's going to show up emotionally because of all of these things working together, and even in at the workplace for occupationally or whatever that looks like, because you have all of these different areas working together. And I think that is the piece that sometimes is missed because fitness is a lot, even for myself, to be honest, that we think about it in the idea of weight loss.
Hmm.
Hmm.
That is probably
Only.
correct,
Look at
right?
it as
And that's one of the
only
reasons
and come
why a
from
lot of
that.
times I think that people flip flop because you don't understand how connected it is to your overall, like you just said, like your overall lived experience,
Right.
and how important it is to keep something up. It doesn't have to look that one way, and I think
Right.
that's what hurts a lot of people. Like it needs to look like this.
Okay, so I want to pose this question to both people. To you, so let's say like you have a person that has had some type of, let's say like an accident or something, so then now their physical, their capacity to be physical is extremely limited, or it's not there. Also, that may affect how, trying to, with you, Miyoshi, being mental health, that now they have to really reinvent themselves and see themselves as the person who I used to be is no longer. I have to accept who I am today. So how does that fit into, because it's like, hey, maybe now they're paralyzed, maybe, you know, they've had, they was a young person, they've had a heart attack, and then now they only have 40% of their, their heart health. And so that is definitely limiting to them, that they really cannot get up and just go and do some of the things that they want to do, which that is definitely going to affect all of these things, because socially you may lose friends, or your friends, they're still active and they're out here doing different stuff. You may no longer be able to work, or you may no longer be able to work in what you used to do. It has to be something else. um,
Well,
Intellectually you may still be the same, emotionally is very different, and spiritually, like why whoever you ascribe to be, greater, like why did the universe do this, why did God have this? So how do you try to get that back to A1 wellness when one of those have been physically limiting?
well, I think in all of them, how you balance it is figure out what can you do, what is in your hands to do. Like I just said, I think a bigger issue when we talk about the fitness part of wellness is that
Okay.
people think everything has to look a certain way. So if I can't work out every day, then you get discouraged and like, oh, I missed a day. I won't be back for 5 months. I mean, it happens. And I'll give a perfect example. For me, like last year, I hurt my back and I still have a herniated disc. And when that happened, it really put a complete stop to everything I could do. So not
Mm,
only because I was on this journey and working on a lot of things within myself physically, and then I couldn't, like I just couldn't. So you were absolutely right. You do feel like, well, what the heck? Because all the things I had in my mind, especially where I thought I had reached, where like I felt like I was back into my body and I was back into a rhythm. But you do what's in your hand to do, and what I mean by that, I could do aquatic robot workouts. I was going to the gym with all of the more seasoned people, and I'm in the water with them. I'm serious, and it's like I enjoyed it, and although there was sometimes I'm like, really, this is all I could do, and sometimes with those exercises, I was limited in what I could do. And it takes some time, and it can be discouraging, but you have to just keep going. And I think something that's bigger, I mean, even that, you probably need to talk to somebody because you may have to have a therapist or a coach, just someone to push you along if what you're needing is that extra motivation, getting a coach, or you may have to process with a therapist because maybe your identity was stuck in this thing, right? And so now that
mhm,
you no longer have it, it's going to be
mhm.
hard to kind of just go within your hand because you still like I'm not even the same person I was in a very real tangible way. So yeah. But at the end of it, I think again, doing what's in your hand to do is the most important thing.
Right.
Yeah. And
So
Mia, yeah, go ahead.
so does corrective exercise kind of fall under that, because I wasn't familiar with the term?
Yeah, so corrective exercise in itself is geared towards people who are coming out of, rehab physical therapy.
Okay.
They've completed their rehab and they're wanting to get back into the gym, but it's also used for injury prevention. Um,
Mm,
so, with the people that I work with, it's more about making sure, as we're in our 40s, Miyoshi, you said it earlier. You may not be able to move like you were when you were in your 20s, right? Um, but that does not mean that you should walk around in pain. You should not have the chronic pain. You should not have your joints aching, right? A lot of us, when we get into our 30s and 40s, two of the things we start complaining about are our knees and our lower back, right? So why are they feeling like that when they shouldn't be? Um, but I mean, to Renee, to get back to your point, as far as Miyoshi, I mean, you're absolutely right. You have to do what you're able to do at that particular time. And I think you hit the nail on the head as far as, when you're used to that activity and sometimes that becomes your identity. Now, from an emotional standpoint, you may not know who you are anymore, right?
Mm.
So, absolutely, therapy, therapy is one of those things that's, from that emotional standpoint as to where, okay, well, how, what tools do I need to make it through this season of me not having the activity or being as active as I once was? What
Okay.
can I do at this present moment mentally to change my perspective on everything until I'm able to get back to where I want to be, or at least get back to where my activity is a lot higher than it is right now. Um,
Okay.
but for corrective exercise, yes, it's more geared towards, like I said, those people coming out of physical therapy or people just in general um, who, like I said, have aches and pains or just want to make sure that they're doing things properly so that they don't end up being hurt. Um,
I think that's also, no shade to the people who get on the job training for trainers at the gym, but someone that's a pointing to the importance of being working with someone who has that experience and that knowledge. Because if someone gives you an exercise to do and you're like, yeah, that hurts my back, and they can't give you another exercise that actually is going to work what you were trying to work,
Mm-hmm.
probably need to move on. But the reality is, and seriously, because I've worked with a trainer before. Like if I said, yeah, she's checking in with me, and she's like, how does that feel? I'm like, it's okay. And if there's a moment, I'm like, yep, it's not about the pain of workout. It's like, no, this is painful. So then she'll give me something what I would consider maybe a totally different, but it's still working the muscles that was intended to work. If you're
absolutely.
working out and you tell somebody that it hurt, and Kyle, you can tell me if I'm right or wrong, and they be like, well, just keep going, or they just tell you stop, run, because they don't know what they're doing. They just know exercises that work.
Yes. And some people ascribe to no pain, no gain. Like, no, I'll tell anybody, like, I don't want to go to the gym and I feel like I'm beat up afterwards because I am more apt to not go back the next day because I'm hurting. Like, I know what a lot of people they don't know, like lactic acid is what causes muscle pain. You can take aspirin to kind of dissolve that lactic acid, but I don't want something that naturally is going to happen in my body. Now I got to take a medication because I don't went so hard, and then now I really don't want to do it, but I don't want to be on that cycle. Oh, I'm gonna go to the gym, and then I got to take aspirin afterwards. For a couple of weeks before. Okay, now I don't feel any type of pain and stuff. I don't want to feel like that. And
Yeah, I mean, I think you both of you hit on it. It's, as a certified coach, if you have a client who's telling you, "Hey, this hurts," I immediately say, "Okay, is it hurting or the muscle burning?" And then that way, like,
ah,
because I mean, the first thing out of most of my clients, about, "Hey, this hurts," and so I have to identify, okay, are you hurting or is the muscle burning? And most of the time, it's the muscle burning. But I mean, Miyoshi, to your point, if it is painful, yeah, we have to find something else for you to do. It doesn't make sense for you if you're in pain for me to keep pushing you through pain because you're not going to want to come back. Like Renee, to your point, you want to walk out of the gym feeling better than you walked in.
Right.
Um, my job or your job, the job of coaches, is to make sure one, you're safe, that you're having a good experience, and that you are working towards reaching your goal, and also that we're meeting you where you are from your
mhm.
from your performance and your fitness level.
Uh,
I can't. My saying is, and I try my best to live by this. Um, I want to stimulate you, not annihilate you.
Oh,
Yes.
right?
I
I
took
want
this
I
as coach one time. I was like, absolutely not. I won't be back in species training.
right.
But
I
I gotta
want you
keep
to come
coming for
back.
me. Yeah.
I want you to come back. I want you to view, the gym as a place of of fun, not a place of torture, even though I do have some clients that do call it that. But it's
But
more
that's
about
that good
us.
torture. If a
yes.
client is like, I'm coming back even though you worked me out, that's the good torture. That's the kind you
Exactly.
want. The
Yeah.
Yes.
kind of like, I literally can't move
Right.
and I don't feel good. Because sometimes you feel it in your stomach, like, okay, we working the muscles. So you're excited about those, but the other
Right.
stuff that's like, also, I can't actually do my job. Because
Exactly. Like
Right.
I'm
totally
seriously
different.
sore, or I go out there to my car and I'm sitting there for 15, 20 minutes just trying to get myself together. I remember one time in a previous episode, you, Miyoshi, you said like you had did a trainer and like sometimes they really just go in attack mode, drill sergeant, and they yelling and they arguing and they fussing and they cussing. It was just like that does not work with you,
Yeah.
because it's like I'm not paying you to sit up here and do me like that. Like, no, I'm not going to do that. And I feel like that's also a part of it too. It's like some people they need that. Like, yeah, you can cuss me out or whatever like that, but other people like, no, under no circumstances can you do
And
that.
you back me into a wall, I'm about to drill a door. Okay. I don't do that. I'm not coming. I'm not the one that's like, oh, I'm like, you know what?
See,
God,
I am. So guess what? Like I may do what you have to say, but it's just like you gonna have to reevaluate. Like, do I want to be cussed back out? Because I'm gonna be like, hold up. Like, guess what? This is how fast this train is going. But just wait till it get to going good. I'm gonna run your ass over. Like, no. So guess what? I've never worked out with a trainer before. Ever. Not because that's it, because I was just like, you know what? I just gotta be committed just going to the gym. Before I can be committed to someone else. Um, Dooney Attic in the comments, she said she need a hotel room workout. So
Mhm.
just in her hotel room,
Right.
so I know that there's a lot of stuff, like those, do this for like, you know 3 sets of 10 and stuff
Right.
like that, and different stuff that you can do in the hotel room. But I'm assuming more so it's like, hey, this is no weights, this is no resistance bands. Like, what can I do? Because she travels a lot. 80% of
Uh-huh.
her work is travel. So what all can she do to stay motivated, stay healthy, but when she gets in from hotel, and that's majority of her day to day.
Um, well, I think one, what's your overall fitness goal, right?
Okay.
And then the other thing with that also is understanding, well, if I'm taking it as far as no equipment, no resistance bands, things like that, a lot of that's you have to rely on body weight activities. Okay.
Okay.
And with those body weight activities, because our body likes homeostasis, it's going to do it will adapt to, just regular body weight. My recommendation would be to change up the tempo of those exercises, right?
Mhm.
With a squat, for instance, just doing, I've seen it, you see it a million times. I've seen it where they have 30-day challenges where you're going to do X amount of squats each every day. Your body's going to get adjusted to that. So a way that you can, and I always, whether it's strength training or cardio, whenever you're devising a program, you want to think about the frequency, the intensity, and the duration.
Mhm.
Okay, so understanding she doesn't have anything as far as weights, so she's going to have to do everything she can to modify the intensity and the duration of those exercises that she's doing. A good way to do that is by changing the tempo of those movements, whether that's she's getting out, she's doing push-ups. Again, the squats, lunges, those are always brutal but effective. And then with, just to throw out there, if, crunches, you want to work, I wouldn't do crunches, but if you want to make sure that you're working the core, there are different activities you can do as far as planks, how long you're holding a plank, the different types of planks to do. There's not, just one type as to where you're just there on your elbows. You can be on your elbows and drive your knees to your elbows like a mountain climber. Bring your legs out to the side. So I think if she sticks with, I think those four activities, um, she'll be able to create, and she can always change the intensity of those. She'll be able to create an effective workout within 30 minutes.
Okay, so you said the three things to think about, and I'm writing these down:
Yep.
intensity, and what was the other two?
Frequency, intensity, and duration.
Okay.
And I think it goes back to both of your points as far as, working out or working with a coach. You have to understand from a frequency standpoint, how many days are you able to commit to working out or strength training?
Okay.
Not everybody, not everybody can work out 5 days a week, right?
Mhm.
Um, Not everybody can spend an hour or an hour and a half in the gym working out, right? What was when I first started working in the gym, what was a shock to me was that people didn't want to come to the gym. It was the last place, it was the last place they wanted to be, but they were asking me for my assistance in going, in a workout in a place they didn't want to be. And to me, that was, like I said, I've been working out for 20 plus years. I couldn't imagine somebody not wanting to come to a gym.
Well,
But
one of the things that was someone said in the comments said because weird people pop in when females are in the gym alone, and that's not an option. And I will say that I have experience where it's just like, look, I just came in here, I just want to kill some fat cells, I don't want to be bothered. But then everybody is not in there with the same motive, and that created why some people have a female gyms. But if it's a female gym, mine, if I have a male, person, he's not going to be allowed in there. So some people, they may be body conscious or just given the time, like, hey, I might not be able to work out until 10 p.m. But from a safety standpoint, I don't want to go to Platinum Fitness or Gold's Gym at 10 o'clock at night, getting out at 11:30. So they need to do things at home, or if you're traveling, as such, she said, it has to be there. So, do you offer stuff that's online where, hey, it's one on one, like a Zoom or Teams or something like that?
um, personally, I don't offer anything online from a Zoom standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Um, with programs that I have written for my in person, my one-on-one clients, I do provide them a program for the days we aren't together. So
Okay.
whether that's them being, and I mean, and this is us, that person, that client and I working together to make sure they're hitting their fitness goals. So whether that's, hey Kyle, you know what, I'm going away on vacation, going to a hotel gym. Do you have a program for me that I can do while I'm there? Well, absolutely. I have that.
Okay. Okay.
And it's with an app that I use, and it has videos attached to it. And I try to be as descriptive as I can in that exercise for them
Mm-hmm.
so that they understand what they should be feeling. So definitely, if your environment, if the gym isn't your environment as far as that workout,
Mm-hmm.
um, can definitely provide. I mean, I can definitely provide you with movements or exercises that you can do within a different setting. It Go ahead.
Does these plans include meals or like what you should be eating in addition to your workout?
Yeah. Um, I'm not a registered dietitian, so I can't prescribe foods. But as far
Mm-hmm.
as from a nutrition standpoint, letting you have an understanding of from a macro standpoint,
Okay.
proteins, fats, and carbs, what your body should be consuming to meet your overall goal, whether that's gaining weight, whether that's losing weight. I can provide that. So um, nutrition is a big one. I think that's one that a lot of people have challenges with, from an overall adherence standpoint, but also from an execution standpoint. Renee, I think we talked about it earlier with social media and having so much information out there as far as different types of diets.
Mm-hmm.
um, if if you're starting off on your journey and you go to Google and start searching nutrition, you're going to get hit with a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it I think there's so much information that you become paralyzed by paralysis by analysis, right? Which one should I do? Which
Uh,
one should I do? And the reason what I like to keep it simple for a lot of people is that whether you're trying to gain weight or whether you're trying to lose weight, it all comes down to whether you're in a calorie deficit or a calorie surplus, right? And for
mm,
every person, that's going to be different.
okay.
Um, and that you can determine that by understanding what your maintenance calories should be. So your
Mhm.
maintenance calories being the amount of food you should consume for just overall daily activities for your body you're running errands, you're going to work, you're doing those normal things. This is the amount of food I should be consuming so that I can perform those activities at a normal level.
Mhm.
Okay.
Once you understand that, now you can put yourself in a deficit or a surplus based on your goal that will allow you to reach your overall fitness goal.
Okay.
Um, what I run into is that with a lot of people, they may have already started their weight loss journey, or they may be coming in to talk to me about their weight loss journey.
Mhm.
And when I sit down with them to go over calorie deficits and their nutrition, they're not eating nearly enough food.
Mhm.
Okay. They're coming in saying, hey, I want to lose 30 pounds. Um, and I'm eating twice a day, right? I'm eating salads, um, and I'm eating oatmeal and I'm eating my fruits. Okay. All right. I'm glad you've chosen those foods, but let me ask you this question. How is your energy throughout the day?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm tired all the time. Okay. Yeah. That's what I expected. Let me ask you this other question. Um, how has that nutrition been for you? Are you starting to see results?
Right.
No, I haven't seen any results. I'm still gaining. I'm still at the same weight. I haven't seen anything. And then it becomes us changing their mindset as far as you have to eat more in order to lose weight, right? And I understand that can be difficult for a lot of people to grasp because for so long we're taught, okay, where if you want to lose weight, you got to cut back on the food.
Right.
And they get to the point as to where they've cut back so much that their body's in self-defense mode.
Yeah, body's just holding on to everything. And I
Exactly.
think that's what people forget, um, that the food is actually our fuel. We're not eating just because our stomach growled and because it tastes good. I
Right.
mean, a lot of us lean into the it tastes good more, but the reason why we're eating is for fuel and what does our body need
Right.
to burn that fuel. So, like you said, if you have a regular day, your body needs a certain amount of fuel. But if you have a full pack day of activities or learning and all of that, you need more food. And that piece is a hard thing to grasp, especially when you're trying to lose weight. Because the idea is
Hmm.
like, let me eat less.
Yeah.
Eat less and then I'll burn everything off faster. Like actually after a while your body maybe initially. And I think that's also the problem. That
Hmm.
people have these experiences of not eating a lot and then they lose weight.
Yeah.
But that's also why you start gaining it back. Because your
Yeah.
body's now saying, okay, I've done this, but you still trying to starve me, so no thank you.
Right.
I'm a
Yeah,
whole
like you really, really have to get into starvation mode where that becomes a whole nother, you know, situation in itself, that people they have eating disorders before you get
Hmm.
to the point where you're like truly, truly it's in starvation mode. And that take a long time.
Yeah.
yeah. I do. Before we kind of talk a little bit more about nutrition, we have a comment, a question. I don't know if it's a question or comment, so I'm just gonna read it. I'm
Okay.
thinking this person is like asking, "Do you have any suggestions?" But Angel Thought 83 says that their identity, uh, finding a new way to stay active. Had a major car accident and it took them out of the gym. And they said I was a gym rat, and it was a big part of my identity. And I guess when we were talking about the identity piece, but what do you do for people? Because I've never been a gym rat. I've always been that person that's going somewhere they don't want to be. Okay. I don't want to be here. I genuinely don't want to be here. The only thing I go that I'm enjoying and I'm looking forward to it is Zumba. So for me, it's like I remember this lady said this before. What is the best workout for you to do? And she was like, the one you're gonna do. Now, although your body needs more than Zumba, it's
That's
just
true.
dancing. because as we get older, and I do want us to get into this, like what are the specific things we should be looking at, because we're losing muscle mass as we get older. So if I want to still be moving, what do I need to do right now in my 40s to make sure my 60s are looking 60? Because I can't say I'm gonna be moving like I'm 40 when I'm 60, because you'll still be in a 60-year-old body. Um,
Right.
but yeah, so I'm definitely that has been that person. Like, I'm going here, I'm paying my money to be somewhere I don't want to be, talk to somebody I don't want to talk to. But this person, Angel, is saying like that's me. So, what do you have any suggestions for her in getting back, or at least, like we said, doing what she can do?
What were her injuries in the car accident?
Um, Car accident, Angel. If you're still on here, I believe it was a neck injury. There was a neck
Okay.
injury involved, and lower back.
Oof. Um, any physical therapy? She did.
I want to say yes.
Okay. Um, with and I would have to have like a little bit more information about the assessment, how she's feeling right now. I think in prescribing exercises, she's really going to have to start with, um, of course, body weight activities, but I think her focus would want to be on making sure she's strengthening her core
Hmm.
for starting a lot of those. And there are things, and I want to get people away from the idea that core is just abs, right? It's actually, I mean, yes, it's your abs, but it's also the lower back is your back as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there are a ton of activities, well, exercises you can do to strengthen up your core without having to get on the floor. You can do it from a standing position or an incline position.
Oh
So
wow.
I would have her start with a lot of core activities that don't involve getting on the floor first to start to build that up. Because
Mm-hmm.
after she starts to build that up, then I think she'll be able, the support will be there to start performing other activities.
And these
So
would
that,
I'm sorry. These would
yeah,
be
I
for
mean,
okay. And she just responded and said yes, neck and back injuries, and yes, she's had physical therapy.
okay. And she's been cleared to return to activity. I'm
Yes.
sorry. Okay. Um, yeah, I think that would be where I would start. Definitely is with the core, and there should be some lower body activities that she can do if she's in a gym setting. Definitely things like I would say leg extensions to kind of help build up the lower body.
Mm-hmm.
That should not place any stress on the spine. Of course, staying away from activities that are going to provide load to the spine. We want to stay away from those, but leg extensions. I think anything. She should be able to do things like wall sits, wall squats. If that becomes difficult for her, she can. Well, what I would start off with from a wall squat position is using a physio ball or balance ball between her body and the wall. That
Mm-hmm.
will help her as far as guiding her in the right position for that particular squat. So I would say core activities and strengthen up the lower body. Also, don't see any problem with uh, any type of bicep or tricep activities. And this is just me going off of the information.
Yeah.
Those are things, from, just as I would meet her. Those would be some of the activities I would have her go through, and then bicep, triceps, just seeing how her body responded to some of those activities. So, but first, I would definitely start with making sure she strengthens up her core.
Yeah, and
Okay.
that really thank you for that, and that really helped
Yes.
me because, like I said, I've been back doing Zumba, and that's the one that
Mhm.
I honestly I enjoy Zumba. I enjoy walking. So if I had an exercise or choice that I could just pick, I would do that. But I also know that as we get older, there are certain things we need to start doing, especially with strength training, eating more protein because we are losing that muscle mass. And as we get older, I mean, everyone has had people in their lives that it's like that big thing. Oh Lord, I hope you don't fall, because when you start falling, you have these major injuries, right?
Right,
But
right,
that is true.
So like this
yeah,
morning, me, over here, Miss 42.
What's it?
I tripped over. I got up, morning. situation going to the restroom. So it's dark. I'm half awake, and my suitcase is sitting in the middle of the floor. Why? I don't know. Don't ask these questions, okay? I tripped over the suitcase, and as I'm falling, I'm like, why did I leave it there? And I'm
You
falling.
busted.
My ankle, I feel my ankle roll. I don't think it's broken because I wasn't in excruciating pain, but I did hear that. So, um, yeah. So I'm gonna have some setbacks, and here we are. But I say that because there's a part of me that feels like if I had not started moving a couple months back, because I just really got into it more and being consistent, that it could have possibly been worse. But because I have been moving more consistent, like 2 to 3 times a week, that some of my agility and as I'm falling to be able to catch myself and all those things. So, great. That's my injury. But my question is more about, what are some things that we can start doing in our 40s to avoid some injury or lessen the impact of injury?
Right.
Because things happen. But, the healthier we are, the more flexibility, mobility we have.
Because as one said, who knew after 40 just turning your head to look back behind you,
Like, oh my God.
backing up in the car. Say, oh my God. I'm really gonna have to use this little TV screen now because we real drivers. Like we really learn how to use
We're
it.
holding the back.
You got that
Absolutely.
right. And for those people who just extra, they got to turn down the radio station as if that's gonna help them.
I
Some
mean, you
people
got
like that.
you got five senses. You know what I mean. So sometimes you have to turn, take one of those out of the equation so that you can concentrate a little bit more. That's all it is. That's why they turn down the radio.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it is. Oh,
That's
okay.
that's that's my justification for
I want to
it.
still be singing my song while I'm backing up. But anyway, but still sometimes turning your neck could be like, oh my goodness. Cause I remember before I started going to my chiropractor and I went as preventative because Myochi and my sister and a couple of other people was like, you want to just go and feel so good
I love the
and
concept.
stuff.
Yeah, me too.
And most people think of going to the chiropractor is like after you've had some type of injury or something like that. But I can just definitely tell, like, I feel so much better in everything. And that lady, she definitely shout out to Dr. Emily because, like, she was like, I just felt some tension in your arm. I was like, I didn't. But when she cracked that arm, I was like, and then my wrist, I was like, I've been writing all these years. Like, look, my wrists do different than these other people because I know how to write in cursive. Okay. But, so maybe that's why, because I had some reports and stuff I had to do at work. So I was really, really writing. But like, she did some little motion and everything, and like everything felt good. But I remember, like, before I started going to her, I didn't have full range of motion in my right arm. And then I started noticing that if I needed to look to my left or my right, it was more of a full body motion and not just a head turn. But after I started going to her, I was like, oh, I can really like you can tell the difference because like your body just accommodates to these things as and you really don't realize. And I've seen people, at work or just out and about, and it's like you can tell they stiff. They are very, very stiff, or they are walking in a way so that they don't move to make something hurt. And it's like, God, I do not want my body to be that way at any point.
And I think that points to what Kyle said earlier. We shouldn't have pain. I shouldn't get up from a chair. I mean, although I am, get up from a chair but I think we just think that's normal. That's so normalized that we're not really do the steps to kind of eradicate feeling that way.
Okay, so Dooney added in the you getting some business. Say next time I'm in your area, I'm willing to pay for a hotel workout design session so that I will have something that works. And she also wanted us does walking and running through the airport count as cardio. I said I agree, but we gonna ask the expert is I'm running late and I gotta get to my terminal because I can't be waiting till tomorrow.
It goes back into that duration.
Okay. So sprinting is okay, but it's like how often are you sprinting?
duration and frequency. That falls back to that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if she wants to run back and forth from gate to gate, then while she's waiting in there, that probably count as a good sufficient cardio, high intensity interval training.
Yes.
Um, but I think Miyoshi, going back to your point, as far as what things do we need to do now that we're 40 to make sure that we are prepping ourselves to have, not only longevity, we can only do so much. We don't know when we're leaving. Hate to be
True.
morbid, but we
That's
do.
his truth.
Those are there are things that we can control while we are still here.
Yeah.
Strength training being a huge piece of making sure that from, I would say, a bone density standpoint, you're doing what you can as far as making sure that your bones are strong. Um, and it doesn't have when I say strength training, sometimes it scares people as far as, oh, well, I don't want to get big. Trust me, I mean, you going in 3 times a week for a few months isn't going to make you obnoxiously big like a bodybuilder.
Hmm.
Um,
People do think that.
yeah, I mean, and I
And it's
think, I
kind of
mean,
like you're already big without it. Like you gonna have to go down before.
but I mean, I
I
understand where
digress.
they're coming from. I understand where they're coming from as far as thinking that, but I mean, it takes a while to build on that amount of muscle, naturally.
Hmm.
And for women, I do understand, when sitting down with them, hey, I don't want to get bulky. I don't want to be, and they see, some of the women on social media who are professional bodybuilders. And I have the utmost respect for those physiques, because I know the work it takes to get there. They also have to understand that naturally, no woman's body can look like that. Right. I'm
Mm.
just,
Yeah.
with the bodybuilding industry, a lot of people have started to open up about it, as far as enhancing drugs they use to enhance those physiques. So
Hmm.
as a woman, naturally, no amount of weights you lift naturally will make you look like that. So I just want to, let people know that you can't look like that just by just doing weights alone. They have things added that will help them make them look like that. But
Okay.
um going back to strength training, yes, you want to make sure you're doing that. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy. We talk about frequency, intensity, and duration. Most people I sit down with are just starting out in the gym. So, of course, 2 to 3 days is going to be beneficial for them. It's going to be a good recommendation for them. Now, why do I say 2 to 3 days? That allows your coach to understand how your body is recovering after those workouts. The
Okay.
last thing I want you to do is go into your next workout deathly sore from a workout 2 days ago. That means, oh, um, could be a multitude of things that cause you to be that sore. But for the most part, on your first day, after day two, you should be getting over your soreness. If not, we may have had too much within your first workout, and it's causing you to have that excess soreness. So understanding how you're feeling after your workouts is beneficial with understanding, how often you should be working out throughout the week. Um, Along with that soreness aspect is also your nutrition. Are you getting, like you mentioned, Miyoshi, are you getting enough protein? Right? Protein and all the other nutrients, your fats and your carbs, those nutrients are going to be beneficial as far as helping your body recover from your workouts, repair the muscles, and get you back in a position as to where you're ready to work out again. But definitely want to make sure you're getting an adequate amount of protein. And again, that's going to vary based on the individual. If you were to go, if you go Google it now, how much protein should I consume? The proper answer is going to be 1 gram per pound of body weight, which is
Okay.
okay, right? Until I shouldn't say until, but as you think about that, um, if you are a 200-pound woman, you're going to have to consume 200 grams of protein. And I'm here to tell you 200 grams is a significant amount.
Yes, it
Um, yeah,
That's a lot.
it's a significant amount. So, what is beneficial in, I would say, in anyone's for anyone to do is to go, get a body scan, understand fat mass you, how much fat mass you do, what your body fat percentage is, And then instead of going off of your body weight, go off of your lean body weight. Your lean body weight is going to be significantly less than your actual weight, and then you can select your protein from there.
Okay.
So, for instance, that 200-pound woman, if real quick, you got me on the spot, so I can't do my math like I need to. If that 200-pound woman has 30% of body fat, then instead of her consuming 200 grams of protein, she only has to consume 140 grams.
Okay.
Okay. And now what she's doing, protein is going to feed her lean muscle tissue. So
Okay.
why not let us feed the lean muscle tissue and save some of those other calories for your fats and your carbs to fill in your calorie consumption? I hope that makes sense to everybody. If
Mhm.
not, yeah, I can answer any other questions you may
Let me see if it makes sense to me. You're
have. Okay.
saying you find your protein, and based on your protein, then you can determine what carbs and fats you need.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So the reason we do that, the reason why we go off of protein is because protein not only is protein is responsible for a lot of metabolic processes within the body as well. So
Protein for your DNA, people.
exactly.
I
So
also
that's
am a biology teacher as well as a therapist. So
and so that's why we start to when we're breaking down the calorie consumption or the macros for someone. That's why we start with the protein first.
mhm,
Okay.
And then from the remaining calories, we'll decide, okay, well, excuse me, the percentages of the carbs and the fats. And again, that's going to vary based on the individual too. Some people prefer carbs over fats. Some people prefer fats over carbs. So again, this is going back to it fitting your lifestyle and whatever you're doing being customized for you.
okay.
Mhm.
Would you? I mean, I realize that every person and everybody is different, but are there any um supplements that you would suggest? Like one thing we've talked about is definitely getting your vitamin D. That's a whole other conversation. But like, is it a glucosamine conjoint, something that is helpful with your joints, or
Mhm.
so? Yeah, anything that you.
That
Uh,
or a detox before or during a fitness journey, anything like that.
from a supplement standpoint, what my clients have found to be most successful um, is making sure, well, if you can't eat enough, if you're not being able to get enough meals throughout the day based on your work schedule and things like that, what they found to be most successful is having a protein powder,
Okay.
whether that's a whey protein or a vegan protein. Me personally, I can't digest whey well, so I do go with a vegan type of protein powder to kind of help me. If I get home late and I don't feel like cooking and I haven't met my protein goal, just let me go ahead and get some of that.
Mhm.
The other thing is a BCAA, a branch chain amino acid, that powder, and either that or an EAA, which is an essential amino acid.
Okay.
Um, those items are very beneficial, very beneficial as far as helping you one preserve the lean muscle tissue you're creating, preserve the lean muscle tissue you're creating through your workouts, but also making sure that you are slowing down the muscle breakdown from your workouts.
Okay.
Two things happen when you work out. You've got the muscle protein synthesis, and you also have the muscle breakdown. So those two supplements work well as far as making sure you are preserving, the lean muscle you talked about.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Give me 1 second.
Okay. Yeah, I think the hardest piece sometimes when you have a workout journey, maybe that's the problem. We talk about this journey, which we're all on a journey, but we're looking for a destination. And it's like there's really no end in sight.
Yeah.
It's like this is what we should be doing. This is the lifestyle that you hear so much about. And I think it's so important. That's why it's so important when you're trying to figure out what works for you to really do something that works for you. Because if it's a lifestyle, how you gonna keep doing something you don't like or something that don't work for you? You're not.
Right. Um, I'm trying to write down these three things, different type of uh protein supplements. You can do a whey protein powder, a vegan protein powder, a EAA essential amino acid protein powder, or a BCC. It's a branch chain amino acid protein powder.
Mhm.
I know a lot of people like, well, what is all this? Those branch change and stuff like that. That is down to molecular and biochemistry. So it's just the structure of the protein and stuff. But these are different things. Essential amino acids is something; those are the building blocks of our existence and stuff like that from our DNA. Just to give a little bit of, you know, what is that? But also, you do have your followers. They have a lot of people. They have said that they've been with you before as a a a trainer, and I'm so sorry. I had it happens when you're over 40, you just get a brain fart. And it's like I was looking dead at it, and it's like, okay, whatever. I don't know what happened. But they were saying that they themselves was not the type of person, as you said, Mioshi, like, I don't like going to the gym, but you get the right trainer and you get the right results, and they make you feel comfortable, and you stick with it, stay, and you start seeing results. And she has said that she has become, a gym rat, or definitely like exercising in itself. Miss Jan Bishop, she has said different things, as well as Amy McMahon. You got, next time,
There you
Duny
go.
Addict, that's Corinthians. She's in the Florida area, which she's there quite a bit. She's go
Yes.
look you up, and she will look you up. Don't sit up there and be like, I don't. Come on now, Greenwood. You know her.
I
You
got you.
look my big sister. So, but those things are essential. So another thing, what can one do when they're looking for a good trainer? What are some things like this what makes a good trainer, this what makes not a good trainer? Because I'm assuming a lot of people, they go by, oh, they body look good.
Yeah. Um,
But your body do good. I'm
I
just letting you know. It's fine.
I would say do research, um, shop around, and also um, one thing and because I see it in a lot of gyms is that you'll have a lady working out by herself, right?
Uh-huh.
And you'll have a guy walk over to her, um, you know, try to take him through a workout. Hey, let me be your coach, let me be your trainer. And as I watch the interaction, I watch the movements. I notice there's no form correction.
Mm,
So what I would tell someone if they're shopping around for a coach, if they're at a particular gym, is just go in and watch how that particular coach they're looking at, how that coach interacts with their client.
okay.
Um, do they look like they're having a good time? Um, and is that the type of coach you would want? I mean, I think Miyoshi, you talked about where you both talked about you don't want anybody yelling at you while you're working out. So if that's if it's that type of coach, then don't do it. But one thing that I actually advised a client this because there was somebody um, really telling her that he would be her coach or trainer. One thing that will allow you to understand if this person knows what they're talking about is ask them, okay, well, how would you correct my knee valgus? How would you correct my anterior pelvic tilt? Okay. A coach who is knowledgeable about the body and how your body's moving will be able to answer that question for you and no questions asked.
Okay.
Right. If they can't answer that question, I would tell you to continue shopping.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Because of those are things that we see a lot of when we are, talking with people during our initial meet with them. We take them through an assessment just to see how their body's moving, so that we can give them a program that's going to be customized for them, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
So um, you don't want a cookie cutter program. You want one that's going to be customized for you, one that's going to allow you to start feeling better. I tell people all the time, yeah, I want you to reach your goals, but what I really want is for you to feel better outside of the gym.
Yeah.
We talked
Okay.
about, that chronic pain that you're feeling. Pain is feedback that something's not right.
Hmm.
So that needs to be addressed while you're reaching your goal. Sometimes you have to address the pain before you can progress. You can progress to meeting your goals. So
Okay.
you want to have somebody who understands um, that simple fact that, hey, I need to get you to feel better before we can continue to have your body progress in the manner it needs to. Because
Okay.
if you're not moving well, you're not going to do your movements well.
Right.
Great point.
The
Great point.
form will be bad, and then the whole point of the workout is missed.
Your body's going to start compensating, and
Mhm.
then you're going to have injuries start to pop up all over the place, and then you're going to get discouraged, and you're not going to want to work out anymore.
Yeah, and that's how I think that's also how a lot of people get discouraged with doing the gym, right? They're like, well, every time I go to the gym, I just come out feeling worse, so then they don't do it. But really,
Yeah,
it has more to do with form and the fact that maybe the exercise you're doing isn't the best one for you.
right.
We do have a question and a comment from a Barry White. It says, how important is it for spouse support? You may have a man that doesn't care, but his woman has made up her mind to have a healthier lifestyle. How detrimental is it for him to be the same type of motivation? So I guess it's, household motivation. How important is that? And how do you move past that if you don't have it? I'm thinking that's the bigger question, right? How do you move past it
Yeah.
if you don't have it?
Um, and I've run into that situation where um, a member or client does not have that spousal support, and it does make it tough. Not gonna lie about it. How um, I guess a few ways that you can try to get support. Maybe invite them in for a workout.
Okay.
Show them what you're actually doing. I know that doesn't always work, but that is one thing you can try. The other thing is just having that conversation is like, look, I'm trying to better myself. I want to be a healthier version of myself.
Hmm.
These are the steps that I'm going to take inside the house to make sure that I'm doing that. Right.
Okay.
And like I said, I know it's difficult. Um, and I run
Because they're not
into,
necessarily against you, but they're not for you. Like, babe, you look fine the way that you are, so they not gonna stop you from going to the gym or
right,
eating healthy, but they not gonna that's not gonna be your accountability partner
Right.
right.
at all.
And I think and that's important to know is like, okay, well, if I can't depend on my spouse, can I depend on a brother? Can I depend on a sister, an aunt, an uncle? I mean, you can depend on your coach, but if you, like I said, you should, I would search to see if there's someone that can help hold me accountable.
Okay.
Um, if you still can't find anyone, then you're going to have to take it upon yourself, right? To
Hmm.
make sure you're doing what you can to make sure you're staying disciplined to those activities that you need. Notice I didn't say motivated because that's going to come and go, right?
Hmm.
But you need to have something that's going to help help remind you of why you're doing this, right?
Okay.
I'm going back to that why.
Hmm.
It's not the 20 pounds that's not why you're doing this. It's not the 20 pounds.
Right.
It's you being able to, go out, have energy. It's you being able to go out and, be able to spend more time with your grandkids because you're more flexible, you're more mobile. Now, because of that, you're able to create more bonding experiences and have more quality time with it. That's the reason why you're doing it,
Yeah.
Okay.
right? That's the reason why you're making the choices you're making from a nutrition standpoint and say, okay, well, yeah, I'm not going to go down this cookie aisle. I know what's going to happen if I go down here. I'm not even going to buy it. I'm not, not even going to go down
Can't
it.
look
Right?
at it.
Can't look
None
at
of
it.
that.
Um, and especially, I mean, I do have craving. I do have a bad sweet tooth. Like I said, I love my cakes and my cookies, but I'll also make sure that I'm getting the proper nutrients I need from my meals that
Yeah.
will help curb some of those cravings that I'm having for sweets. So that's another thing, right? Just making sure, again, going back to nutrition, making sure you're setting yourself up for success
Hmm.
within I guess within what you're capable of. But definitely, say if you don't have anybody like in your corner supporting you, then I would definitely go and make sure that I'm having something in front of me
Mhm.
as a reminder of why I'm doing this. If it's nothing more than you making notes within your phone as far as what's important for you and why you're doing this, so that you can refer back to it to keep yourself disciplined, then I would do that as well.
Yeah.
Okay. There is, you had said there's a lot of stuff that we see out there on social media or whatever. What are like
I didn't
some,
say that.
well, I'm saying it. It's a whole lot of stuff out there on social media, and I
Right.
know everything can't be true in at the same time. And I know if it was me, I'm shopping around. I want to see a trainer that have people at all different age groups, all different body types. Because when I see somebody, everybody all there together and they look good, it was like, well, see, I was supposed to have caught you a year and a half ago. So
Right.
look, I don't know where everybody came from. So to me, that's not my person to say like, oh, okay, they are for everyone. But what are like some of the biggest myths or some of the stuff that's like, they need to take this down because this is definitely not true because it may not align with the actual science and the results and research.
Oof. Uh, man.
Who you
Um,
think they page need to be taken down? It's like they hire their captain.
I mean, I don't know about. I said I wouldn't know about any coaches that I would say need to have their pages taken down. But as far as like myths that I
Hmm.
see,
Hmm.
um, one, I think this one is probably one we run into the most is just that carbs make you fat,
Okay.
and that you need to prescribe to a certain diet. There's no one macro that's going to make you inherently fat. Well, I shouldn't say fat, but gain adipose tissue or make you store fat. Overeating does that, and it doesn't matter which macro you do. Of course, no matter doesn't matter which macro you do. If you over consume it, your body's going to start storing it as fat. So, I
Okay.
guess that's one Myth. Another one, and I will, yeah, this one I will say is that if you see one myth that I do see is that if you wanting to, and I hate to use the term tone up because you can't really tone the muscle. If you see, somebody say, yeah, you need to tone up, so you need to do uh, lightweight, heavy reps. That'll help you get the tone look. That's um, that's a myth as well. Um, Lightweight, heavy reps helps you increase your muscular endurance, but it
Hmm.
doesn't do anything as far as creating an opportunity for you to lose body fat and to gain that toned look that you're going for.
Okay.
um, like I said, there's a time and a place for lightweight sorry, yeah, lightweight heavy reps. But if your goal is to tone up or gain lean muscle, that's not the recipe for that.
You need heavyweights. Gotta grab those
Well,
15s.
yeah, you mean medium to heavy weights will allow you
That's
to
probably
create
top.
lean muscle.
Mhm.
Um, Pretty much. I mean, I mean, a lot of people have that goal of losing weight and losing body fat. So it's going to be your strength training, your cardio, and your diet, your nutrition are going
Mhm.
to be the key factors with you being able to do that. You can't have that look without those three. So, um, other myths. Uh, oh, you don't need any days off from working out, right? I think when I really got serious about competing in bodybuilding, I think that was 2016. Yeah, I was no days off. I'm going to be in here every day, right? That's a recipe for overtraining and injury. Your body needs days off. As hard as it may be for some people, it was hard for me to sit at home and not do anything. But your body needs those days off to recover, for your body to absorb the nutrients, the food you're consuming, so that it can repair those muscles, and you can get the gains that you want.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. What else have you seen? Have you seen anything else that you're iffy on or?
I don't know. I mean, it's just so much, like you said, there's so much information out there. And that's one of
Yep.
the reasons why we wanted to have this discussion,
And
because you get overloaded. And it's like, where do I start?
right.
I
And another thing is that comparison, right?
Mm,
okay.
Comparison is a huge one. What happens with a lot of, I should say a lot, but some coaches or some influencers, what happens is they get themselves into a very lean physique,
Mhm.
and they'll have a photo shoot, they'll take a ton of pictures so they have it in their catalog, and now throughout the year or throughout the months they're just putting those lean looks out there, right? So now in your mind you're thinking, man, this person stays lean all year round, he stays, and then that messes with you, right? And it's like,
yeah.
well, why can't I should be this lean, or I should be able to do this all year long. And competing in bodybuilding and being that lean, that's not a healthy way to be. Getting that lean requires you to go to extreme measures as to where, yeah, you are starving. You are
Mhm.
purposely starving yourself. And it starts within that starvation, you start to affect your hormones. Your energy is low. So it's not a sustainable look, throughout the year. So I say comparison is another one. So always be cautious about what you see um, on social media as far as how a person looks. Um, I don't think that led me to. I had another thought on that one, but it escaped me. So it's being 40, it did that.
Hello.
Hello.
Ginkgo biloba.
Yeah.
Well, I do have one question because I think when you hit on that comparison, some people they look at certain, influencers as well as people that's in the entertainment industry and they think, hey, if I do these things, my butt gonna look like this, my waist is gonna look like this. And like you can really transform your body to look Meg the Stallion, um, Beyonce, some of these people. And it's like, you know what? There is a thing called genetics where it does not matter. Like you will have to go under the knife to get some of these aesthetics that they are. And then also it's just kind of like if for the average person and women out there, do you see a lot of women that just naturally is built like that? I've known some people from my hometown, they naturally built like that. So like if they was Instagram, like I know they real. But for every woman in a family is not looking like that, without any type of assistance or whatever. So how do we able to do that? And I see men kind of do the same thing because I didn't realize there's a lot of men that are going and getting different type of implants and stuff to make them
Like,
look. They look crazy.
but
They
I
really the men implants look more crazy than the women because at least with the women you do have fat in certain areas, but like some of them like you don't put this bicep on a pole. It just look like
Yeah. Um, yeah, to that point. But yeah, you hit on it. Yeah, some of it is just genes, right? Um,
okay.
and what I find is that the people who have been blessed with good genes have been quick to say, "Hey, follow me in my 30-day program or 2-month program, and I can get you results like this." Right?
Mm.
So they're monetizing off of what they've been blessed with. So if you ever come across that, I would say, try to scroll as much as you can, as far back as you can, and see, if they've actually posted progress of where they started with their journey, or if they just immediately started their page and boom, it's there.
Okay.
So that's one thing. The other thing with that is, like I said, to each their own. If they want to, I mean, I've seen some crazy things from, um, synthol injections for the guys, them putting on the biceps, the traps, stuff like that.
Wow.
I mean, if that's what you want to go for, then cool. But if you're not wanting to go that route, just understand that it's going to take time. Be
Mhm.
patient with yourself. If you're able to build that naturally, it's going to stay longer,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
right? Um, and you'll appreciate it more because you gain the knowledge you need to understand how you got that, and you can never lose it because you understand how you got it. But like I say, I mean, I live in Florida. Plastic surgery is
Rampant.
prevalent.
Yeah.
Um, so like I said, people do it. That's their prerogative. But um, for most people, what I would tell them is, yeah, definitely be patient. Be patient with yourself. Understand that, as with anything else, if you're looking to improve your physique, it is a journey. And the more that you're able to learn throughout that journey, the better off you'll be, the longer those results will last. Because I hate to see people go under the knife and then they return back to the body they had before that, just because they haven't gained the knowledge they needed to help them
Mhm.
maintain the physique they had. So
Right.
um, you're spending $5,000 to $10,000, and then now you're back to where you were 2 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a
It's
lot
the
of times
wrong.
people find themselves 5 years later, they're doing it again
Yeah,
because they haven't built those patterns.
habits.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The habits, right? So if you're, I mean, and I think Miyoshi, you asked me where should someone start, right? And I think that's where a lot of people are. I think the first thing, regardless of again whether you're looking to lose weight or to gain weight, the first thing you need to do is just understand, okay, well, what are my maintenance calories? Okay,
Mm.
start to get an understanding of macros, proteins, fats, and carbs. Have an understanding, learn how to read a nutritional label.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Go out to Target while you're there, get a food scale, start measuring your food,
Oh, wow.
then start tracking your food. I've had a ton of people become, it's shocking to them how much their favorite food or whatever it is they're eating, how much that impacts their daily macro amount. So
Mhm.
now that they have that awareness, now they're able to plan out their nutrition a lot better because they actually see it now. I'm a visual learner. If I can track it and see it, now I have a better understanding of how I can. We talked about Thanksgiving. How can I keep my physique but still enjoy those same foods that I always enjoy? And you do
Mhm.
that by learning how to track your food. And there are a ton of food tracking apps out there. Just pick one and just start throwing in your food, and I think some people will be surprised as far as how many uh, how those calories affect their daily overall allowance.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. That's would be the first place I start.
All right. Well, Kyle, thank you so much.
Well,
It was fun.
this was
It
It
fun. This was
was.
fun. This was
was.
We
fun.
I mean, you gave us a lot of information, a lot of things to think about, especially moving into the new year. We titled this "Get It Right, Get It Tight." You remember that song? They said, "Get it right, get it tight." But of
Bubba
course,
Sparks, ain't
when everybody needs was real good.
hello. But the reality is, yeah, and it's not all about, weight loss. So we've talked about that a lot tonight. It's all about our whys. And in our 40s, our whys is to be healthy and to feel good. So, Kyle, I just super, super, super grateful for you joining us and helping us have these conversations and think about it in a very different way. Because even when you said that whole, I don't understand how people go somewhere every day that they don't even like. And I'm like, oh, he's talking about me. So even like wrapping my head around reframing what that looks like, yeah, I don't hate the gym. Like even just maybe I should stop saying it.
right.
Maybe it'll be a better
It's
outcome.
just not your favorite place. Just say it like that. That's not my favorite place.
But it's the place I'm going to get the things I need to be. My biggest thing is I want to be able to travel without being hindered and needing
Mhm.
assistance. So that's my place to be able to get that done. And so I just really appreciate that. Continue to bring it back to our why and in our journey of being healthy and going into 2024 and getting it right and get it tight. Renee, you
Start now.
have any?
I've learned a lot. Definitely the difference between fitness and wellness and the six components of it. I plan on looking more because you said that some people say that there's eight components of it, and
Yep.
just how all of that intertwine. So when I have in these discussions with myself, when I'm going to try on clothes, like, all right, we got to get everything very, very much filtered and stuff. But it is very, very good. As I say, it's a different way of what is your why. It's not just okay, I want to be skinny thick. I want to be healthy, as I say, I want to have, my daily life, unassisted as long as I can, that I don't have to, potentially, just have to have in-home help and outside help just to get around. And because currently I'm not on any medication, I want to be able to extend that for as long as this life that God has given me as far as I can without any type of thing. And I don't want to be having no patch up surgeries and different stuff like that as well, because I mean, I look and I see we're in that age group where we're the age that our parents was when they were, we were in high school and young 20s and stuff. And it's like, my God, like a lot of us, we're having surgery, a lot of us are having, major um life physical events and stuff, and some of us we're passing away, in our mid 40s. And it's like, okay, I don't want to be a part of that number. So I definitely need to do some things. But you are officially our resident fitness and wellness, the 40 spot. Like, we're going to have you back where it's even just to break down even some more of these components and how
Yeah,
Right.
they
more
tie
specific
everything
in the
in.
conversation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll make sure I
absolutely.
I'll make sure I keep these notes. I think Miyoshi hit on a lot of them. I wondered if she saw these before I wrote them. Well, after I wrote it, because she was
You
hitting on. I was like,
fine.
"What you should." She was hitting on everything. But no,
Well,
I mean, I had a great time. Thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.
yes, yes. Any final thoughts that you want to give?
Uh, no, just as you go throughout your journey, definitely write down your why and keep that handy so that you
Okay.
know why you're doing this.
All righty. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Appreciate y'all.
How can everyone find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Gunby_aesthetics. It's a public page, so feel free to drop in, send me a message, or if there's anything you want to see or any questions you may have, I'll do my best to answer those.
Okay.
Look at my mama in the chat.
Yes.
Mama.
Hey, Gunby. All the way from Greenwood.
So bedtime. I'm surprised she's still awake. Okay.
Well,
Look,
this
she
is
got
the
some for the show,
time.
baby.
This is the time that we usually have birthdays and anniversaries and thank yous. So we'll start that up now. And we'll start with saying thank you, Mama Gumby, for joining.
Exactly. Exactly. So, things to celebrate. I did get my promotion. They wasted zero time laying it on me. I was like, goodness gracious, y'all done gave me all the work before I done got the first check with the money on it. But that's how it goes. Hard work is rewarded with more hard work and more work. So I did get that. I'm excited. Also, one of my coworkers was able to get a promotion as well. So that is my own personal celebration. And also, we do one of our day ones um viewers and stuff, Corinthians, y'all might know her as Dooney, Addict 615. She will be celebrating her birthday on December the 9th. So want to,
Corinthians.
yes, 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 yes. She said, look, she's accepting, I'm putting it out there, she's accepting birthday gifts all year round, all year, just like me, all year, all year.
Well, just put it that way, I accept as well. My birthday's in May, though. No, but I have a couple of birthday shout outs. Tanya, Carmel, and Arlette. We had two that passed, but Carmel's was just yesterday. So just happy birthday to you guys. And any anniversaries out there, happy anniversary. Kyle, do you have anyone that to celebrate today?
Uh, no, I don't.
No, no. Next
No,
time, next time.
next time, next time.
But we really just love to celebrate everyone. You don't have to be in your 40s. It doesn't have to be a birthday, but it's just we're very just happy to be here on this side of heaven. And so for that reason,
Amen.
we love to take this time out to celebrate with people that things that are going on in their lives. So happy birthday, happy anniversary, congratulations to
Thank you.
everyone, and doing and keep going and moving and rising and celebrating and connecting. This was a wonderful show, so I can't wait to
Yes.
have you back, Kyle. You know, my wheels are already turning. Oh, we can talk about this next time.
Yes.
So yeah,
Absolutely.
it is going to be a great thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Follow us, like, comment, subscribe. Follow us at the 40 spot, the number 40, on all social media platforms. Also, to keep the conversation going, if you was a little bit shy, you didn't want to type anything, you can definitely type after. Our lives are always present. Also, you can email us at the40spot@gmail.com. If you feel like supporting the podcast, guess what? You can hit us up on Cash App at the dollar sign, the 40. You know, guess what? We accept stimulations and donations and stuff. But yes, please like, comment, follow, subscribe us. If you're listening wherever you listen to your podcast and you find us, please rate us so when they look for us on a 40 spot, we're not as far down as we once were, but you know, we want it when they type it up, boom, you see the 40 spot. So that is it. We would love that everybody came out and they supported us on this episode as we go into this season of eating. Eat, be merry, run a little bit, do some chair exercises, hit Kyle up, find out like what can I do at my desk? What can I do in my bed? Yeah, like just keep it moving, keep it moving.
and in the meantime, as we always say, if it costs you your peace, it is too expensive. Have a wonderful week. We'll see y'all next time. Bye.